The first thing a top repairman did after retiring was actually to find another job. And the reason he did this was simply because his meager pension could not support the household expenses. For the sake of their future life, the man, already 60 years old, had no choice but to collect scrap on the street. When the chairman of a listed group learned about this, he immediately rushed over and was willing to offer the man $2 million in compensation, earnestly asking him to work in his factory. He promised that as long as it was a machine adjusted by the man, no matter what problems might occur in the future, it would have nothing to do with him. This was because he had long known of the man's ability. Hearing the chairman's promise, the man immediately felt a burst of joy in his heart. He never expected the chairman to trust him so much. He then promised the chairman that he would adjust all the machines within 4 days. To prove that his words were true, the man immediately began adjusting a machine. And in just 5 short minutes, he restored a machine to working order that Japanese experts had failed to repair in 5 days. Everyone stared in shock at the machine now running before them, their eyes wide with disbelief. They never imagined the old man in front of them could be so powerful. The chairman was so grateful that he knelt before the man, saying he was an angel sent by God to save him, rescuing him from imminent bankruptcy. But the man's student believed that he actually did not know how to repair machines, and that continuing production would only cause more serious problems. He even wanted to stop the man from adjusting the machines. But the only reason he did this was because when he studied under the man, all he thought about was pleasing his boss and getting promoted, and never truly learned the man's real skills. So he assumed the man was just an ordinary, useless worker. On his very first day as factory director, he used his position to force the man into early retirement. He even prevented the man from repairing the last machine, causing large-scale damage to the factory's equipment, which was why they had no choice but to seek help from Japanese experts. But what he never expected was to see his retired teacher here. Hearing the chairman ask the man to adjust the machines, the student immediately felt a wave of jealousy and wanted to stop him from continuing. But the chairman absolutely refused to believe the student's words and warned him to shut his mouth immediately or face his punishment. Then he led the man to continue adjusting the remaining machines. Yet the student behind them still tried to slander the man's ability, persuading the Japanese experts to follow him to repair the factory's machines. But the experts refused because they too were secretly learning the man's techniques. They said directly that the man's skills were beyond even Japan's top repairmen. They ignored the student's constant persuasion and instead carefully observed the adjusted machines. At that moment, a worker excitedly carried the newly produced parts and ran up to them, saying that the parts they were now producing completely met the buyer's requirements and the adjusted machines had no problems at all. After hearing this, everyone's eyes widened in shock. The Japanese experts looked at the parts in their hands, unable to believe the man had truly succeeded. While they were still talking, the man adjusted another machine. Looking at the experts questioning him about his methods, the man just gave them a disdainful glance, saying that when he was debugging, hadn't they already seen it? How could they not understand? Meanwhile, the student began to doubt that the man had ever seriously taught him. He never realized it was he himself who had rejected the man's teaching, thinking only about pleasing his boss. Even the notes his teacher gave him before retiring had been thrown into the trash. Before he could react, he heard the chairman extend an invitation to the man, promising that the salary he offered would definitely satisfy him. But the student refused to believe the chairman would give the man such a high salary. He said bluntly that at most he would just be a $2,000 a month worker, no different from picking up trash on the street. Just as he was about to say more, his phone rang. It was the factory calling. The machines had broken down again. The factory director asked about inviting the Japanese experts, warning that if he failed to bring them, he would be immediately fired. After hanging up, he quickly tried to invite the Japanese experts to repair the machines in his factory. But once again, they refused, because at that moment, all they wanted was to purchase the man's skills at a high price. Hearing this, the chairman immediately refused their request, saying he already had the talent to repair machines and did not need arrogant experts. He then called the factory security guards to throw them out. The student, however, tried to take the opportunity to invite the experts, promising that his factory had many workers like the man. Hearing this, the experts thought they could really learn the skills, so they agreed to the student's invitation. Little did they know, all the machines in that factory had been repaired by the man, and now the factory had no one able to repair anything. After they they left, the chairman immediately pulled out a bank card worth $2 million from his pocket and handed it to the puzzled man. He then instructed his assistant to bring out the employment contract he had long prepared, sincerely inviting the man once again to become his employee. Hearing this, the man immediately agreed to the chairman's offer, but returned the payment for the repair work, saying that since he had already become his employee, debugging machines was part of his job and he should not accept that money again. But the chairman gave it back, saying it was payment for the man's timely repairs and asking him to accept it. He even promised that as long as the man worked at his factory, he would take care of him in his old age. Hearing this, the man looked gratefully at the chairman and without hesitation wanted to sign the contract. But the moment he saw the annual salary, he froze in place. He could not believe that at 60 years old, his annual salary could still be as high as $2 million. He wanted the chairman to lower it, but the chairman refused, even wanting to provide the man's meals and housing for free. He said directly that with his skills, he deserved this salary, and that being able to invite him to work was his honor. Looking at the sincere chairman before him, the man could not hold back his tears and promised he would work here until he could no longer move. Meanwhile, on the other side, the student had already brought the Japanese experts to the factory, but after just one glance at the machines, they said repairs would take a month and demanded double wages.